3 months ago I visited Bulga and spoke to John Cray about the proposed expansion of the Mount Thorley Warkworth open cut mine and the impact that would have on the village of Bulga. Devastation, in a word, to the town and the surrounding properties. Last week, the Planning and Assessment Commission gave the mine the green light for the expansion, and today I'm going back to Bulga to see what options the residents now have to save the village and their homes. With me I have two old comrades, Susan Kennett and behind the camera, Jack Carnegie. Here we are at last. There are around 300 people living in Bulga and around the place, many of them in properties away from the village itself, and if the mine expansion goes ahead, they'll all have to move. We're going to talk to some of them now.
G'day there.
Hi.
How are you? I'm Robert Greenland. Robert, how are you? Anne-Marie and Robert were married 5 years ago. Robert moved here 30 years ago and has worked on the mines. Like the rest of Bulga, they believed the original planning permission that stated the mine could not move any closer to Bulga would in fact be honoured.
I bought this property knowing that Warkworth would not come within the distance to Bulga that they have done now.
You know, our village is 200 years old. We're not a mining town. We never have been.
You thought there'd be a buffer area?
Absolutely, yes.
We're more or less guaranteed there with the deed of agreement was signed.
Now, a week ago, they gave the green light again to the expansion of the mine. How did you react to that?
Of course we felt gutted.
We really feel that the system is broken. We really do.
But it does make you feel too that they're saying to us you don't matter. And we're still saying we do matter. We believe in a future beyond coal.
We'll fight on. We will fight on.
Anne-Marie and Robert are determined to fight to save the village and their homes. They have been betrayed by both Labor and Liberal governments, changing the rules to suit the big coal industries running New South Wales. They've been part of the local mobilisation of the community, fighting for justice and a fair go. Up the hill live Julie and Alan. Ring the bell.
Ah, the bell.
Hello.
G'day.
Hello.
We come for the interview. I'm Hall and this is Susan.
Oh, right. Pleased to meet you. I'm Alan.
Good on you, Alan.
Hello, Alan. Nice to meet you.
This is my wife, Judith.
Hello, Judith. Come on.
There we go. And our dog.
Hello,
Friendly.
Lucy.
Julie and Alan bought their property 25 years ago and moved in permanently 5 years later. Even without the expansion, the mine's operations have recently started to impact on their lives, with increasing noise and dust.
When we came here, we knew the mines were there. Everybody knew the mines were there, but they were over there. And we didn't see them, we didn't hear them. But then in 2010, suddenly they started making a lot of noise because they built their slag heaps or spoil dumps or whatever you want to call them so high that they were higher than Saddle Ridge, which is the piece of land that blocks us from the coal mine.
And your fear, of course, would be once Saddle Ridge goes, the noise and the dust are going to be actually worse.
Yes,
How could it
although
not?
they would have everybody believe that it's actually going to be less. Somehow, a mammoth mining operation moving closer to you is going to cause less dust and less noise as it gets closer.
And there were many attempts to have meetings, sensible meetings, with people from the mine and to try and discuss what can we do about this. And we got completely no cooperation in trying to work towards an equitable solution. It was just, you know, we'll do as we like and you can just get on with it.
So how did you react to the latest green light from the Planning and Assessment Commission?
There was a Planning Assessment Commission review previously that said that, more or less said, the impacts on the village of Bulga will be so great that consideration should be given to relocating the village. Then within a few months we have another PAC review and suddenly they come out and they say, no, everything's fine, it's approvable. There are no impacts. How do you go from one situation where the impacts are so bad you want to move the village to a situation where it's the same project, nothing's changed, And yet now there's no impact. Well, one of the things, of course, that has changed since the Land and Environment Court is that the government was persuaded by Rio Tinto to change the rules, change the law. One, so that the economics of the proposal became the most important consideration for the commissioners, and the second thing was to remove merit appeal rights, so that no matter what decision the Planning Commission came down with, it could not be appealed on the basis of merit. To us, that's completely undemocratic, because when we had a merit appeal, we won in the Land and Environment Court, and it was upheld by the Supreme Court. You can't get much more strength, judicial strength, in New South Wales than that. That has been taken away from us, or communities everywhere, like a rug being pulled out from under their feet. The Department of Planning and the government and the mining companies are as one against the people, us, the community. And it's disgusting. We think, well, we can't give up, because if we give up, then we're just saying that's okay. It's okay to be corrupt. It's okay to ride roughshod over the people that elect you. And it's not. That's not democracy. It's wrong. And that's what we're fighting against.
Like Anne-Marie and Robert, Julie and Alan see no future for coal and are also victims of the New South Wales coal industry government complex that puts profits before people and the planet. They're determined to seek justice and a better environment. Next we're off to see John Cray. John is one of the key players in the Progress Association with a keen understanding of the complexities and rorts that are driving this saga.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Nice to see you again.
G'day. John, we were here 3 months ago. Can you just bring us up to date about what's happened since?
We have had, in this past few months, 2 hearings, and we had very substantial evidence that what had been presented by both the department and the mine was actually, in my view, fraudulent.
So you're not downcast at all?
Absolutely not. We're annoyed and angry, but not downcast, because of all the evidence that we've produced which says this mine is not right. There was a feeling amongst most of the community that it would be better for the planet if this mine didn't proceed. It is the 3rd biggest in New South Wales. It produces massive amounts of CO2 and stuff, buggers up the atmosphere no matter where it's burnt.
Can you just summarise for us what's going to happen now that PAC has found the mine is approvable?
At this point, the PAC has made a recommendation to the Department of Planning. The Department of Planning will answer 4 major questions. The Department of Planning will then put another report back to the PAC. That PAC will then form again and will make the final decision. And that final decision is one which cannot be appealed by merit, so it is the final decision.
And when do you expect that to happen?
I'd suggest just before Christmas.
What's happening in Bulga is extraordinary. Having lost in 2 courts, Rio Tinto calls on the New South Wales government to change the law so there can be no merit appeal against the Planning and Assessment Commission. The people of Bulga win their case whenever they get a fair hearing. They win on social justice, environmental and economic grounds. Their fighting spirit is inspirational, and they are one of the leaders in the growing community action against the fossil fuel business across Australia and the world.